Good morning, my Teaserking family. Happy Sunday. I hope this is a more secure line than yesterday's, where we kept freezing a little bit. But again, that's out of my control. It's all YouTube or the internet, so please bear with me on that. Okay, I did week one in the NFL. I analyzed it using last year's stats, which kind of we have to then put in for the draft and the free agents and the new coaches and all the crap. So some of the sample sizes will be zero. Like, let's look at Houston. We don't know who their quarterback is. You're going to start CJ Stroud? Really? If you start CJ Stroud against Baltimore, they'll get shut out. So then it's an easy underplay. I'm not laying 3.5 with Lamar Jackson. I don't care. That'll never happen. So why don't we go through that? Again, I hope you got enough out of Alistair McLean and Agon yesterday. If you need the title, let me know. Very good one. That's why I showed most. It was a 30-minute thing. I think I showed the last 10 minutes and then the first 10, middle 10. But you guys got the hint. And when they say it, it's much more meaningful than when a Peter Schiff says it, or some of these idiot American guys who are clueless, who are just salesmen. I'm so tired of seeing salesmen try to explain gold and silver, or you're going to get $1 million or whatever. I'm going to go through that when I'm done with this. NBA, we had nothing yesterday. Today we got Boston minus 6.5, 7 against Philly at Boston, game 7. And this is where betting is hard, because this is not, there's one thing when you're betting, backs against the wall, like Golden State, LA, game 5. Golden State had to win. They were at home. Lakers knew they could lose and win game 6, which is exactly what happened. That's the psychology. We know we can lose and win the next game, and that's fine. Bobby Bo, how are you? I'm fine. I hope you don't get upset if the thing gets stuck. But anyway, were you able to see the Egon and Alistair talk? Or if you need it, I can give you the link. Yep, I ate half of it, and I ate the other half probably dinner tonight. And I got chicken that I got to cook, some chicken breast. So where you had that great game, Golden State Laker game 5, which was what we locked, and we locked the Boston game 6. Oh, this is not backs against. This is backs against the wall with both teams. Probably a close game, like the Knicks-Miami game was close. And had you taken the Knicks, you'd have won. But I didn't have any confidence to take the Knicks. Here, I don't know how good Philly is. If I have confidence to take Philly, will they blow them out? Bobby, yeah, it's not your fault, Professor. I do. They mad just sucks. I can't hear the voices when it jumps. Yeah, just go to YouTube and watch the video. I think I gave it to you. And that you can. It's a nice 29 minutes, and it's very. There was one that he did, and the other guy kept interrupting him. And this one, it was like Agon talked. Alistair, what do you think? And then Alistair talked. I mean, it was perfect. You could understand them, and they're all, yeah, I don't know. Who do you like? So that's how I think. I think they both did. I think you take the points. If Boston was so much better, this wouldn't be game 7. They'd have won it in 5. Well, that's why I do it live, Bobby, so you can ask the questions and I can answer them. That's why I was pissed when Andy Scheckman did a live one on Liberty and Finance. but he wouldn't answer questions like we do here. As the questions come up here, I answer them. Now, if they get a little bit weird, like our friend, then I have to silence them. But as long as you're pretty normal on your questions, I give you the answers. They didn't do that. There was a lot of questions. They were just ignoring it. And the guy would ask, he'll pick one out of 20 softball questions. So I didn't like, if you're going to do it live, you do it the way we do it, where you ask and I immediately respond. Yeah, notice Doc Rivers will most likely get fired if he loses, and Harden still no ring. Boston youngster and can eventually get over the hump for a championship. Well, I don't know about that. Just because you're young, you assume they get the championship. But Doc Rivers coaches who? Philly or Boston? I know he used to coach Boston, but all I know is he used to play for Atlanta. And then he has a son who plays. He coaches for Philly. Well, it's all up to their one player who I can't think of his name, but the big guy. He should dominate, but Boston's got a lot of players, so it's hard to say. I mean, the series is tied 3-3, which tells me this is a pretty even series. Right? That's what I like, taking the dog and betting the loser back. He's supposed to be a great coach and needs to win. Well, if he's a great coach, he would have won already. Celtics have a first-year head coach. Oh, they fired the guy from a good college guy. I can't remember the name. Some small college that he did good. Well, I mean, we know the coach is a big factor. I think it all comes down to who has balls on the team. Like Isaiah or Magic or Bird, who could win the game by themselves. And the question is, on these teams, is Embiid the man? Can he win the game? Is it whoever's on Boston? Is Larry Bird back? Is Kevin McHale playing? I mean, that's really, do you have that player? And you need it in baseball. You need it like Verlander. He chokes every time there's a big game. He's nowhere to be found. That's what I don't like about him. He's playoffs. So you got to see who's got the balls for the pressure. He won't suffer any consequences. Yeah, but last coach slept with female employee. Oh, that guy. Oh, well, what's wrong with that? I don't really understand half the problem people tend to give. If they liked each other, I don't know. Was he married? I don't know. Look at me. I would. I got 3 girlfriends. I would in a heartbeat. There you go. If you had gave her gold, she'd have shut up. That's for sure. So anyway, that's what we got. We don't know. This is how we learn how good's Boston, or whoever wins this game should have momentum to play Miami very well. I don't understand how Miami's an 8 seed and they won 2 series and they're in the conference final against Boston or Philly. It doesn't make sense. How can you be the 8 seed and play like that? That's why you're the 8 seed, because you suck. All right. So we will get into that as the series goes. Again, I don't really have a game 7. I guess I'd take the dog, but it would be a very small bet. I'm not betting it. Yeah, I know how it is, Bobby. Absolutely. All right. So I've been looking at some of the shit in the Ukraine. Looks like Ukraine's kicking Russia's ass, or the U.S. is over there kicking Russia's ass. We will see what happens there. But it's really Russia getting out of Crimea. I guess 1 million people left Crimea today or whatever. So I send that shit to Jenna, the Ukrainian. just to say, here's a, because I don't know if she sees it or not. I don't know what they see. And I know Daria in Russia doesn't see any of it because they won't let her. So they keep the blinders on. But I can forward messages in WhatsApp on YouTube and show her. So I think this war is getting close to an end. The Russian people don't want it, and Putin's getting his ass kicked. So we will see. I'm beginning to think it's for the gold, but I was really happy to hear Alistair and Egon talk about that the U.S. won't be able to stop Russia and China from coming out with gold-backed currency, that it's inevitable because everything's collapsing. Zimbabwe's come out with gold, and apparently they're letting them do it. So right there, they would have killed the Zimbabwe guy, but like they did Gaddafi, but that's a good sign that it's coming out. Bobby, I don't think we have much time on the gold silver before it really hits the moon. As people should be waking up to the dollar going down and having no value, they run to gold and silver, and I think more people are waking up to it. It seems like it anyway. Now that I dig into it, being an INFJ, I'm realizing that wars between J.P. Morgan and Putin and Z. J.P. Morgan got $1 billion bullshit dollars, right? And this is going to be worth zero. So he doesn't want this to be worth zero. So if you had $1 billion, you wouldn't want the value to go to zero. You'd want the billion. Now, in our case, we're smart enough to take it and buy gold and silver with it. Then we don't give a fuck what happens. We know it's going to zero. So I don't know what JP Morgan's doing, trying to keep the value of this with the value. And he's going to lose. His billion's going to be worth zero, as is JP Morgan, as is Gates and Buffett and all those idiots who keep their money in this. And as Alistair said on that video, he said that the West just doesn't get it. They keep thinking, well, we don't need gold. We'll just keep printing money. And again, the more you print, the less it's worth. So what the fuck are they thinking? These are Keynesians. This is the enemy, right? Us being Austrians understand you can't do that. We understand. You got a Barry Sanders Pro Set rookie card. It's only worth $100 because they printed 1 million of them. And that's why his score rookie's worth $1,500. They didn't print as much. So we understand we want to buy limited stuff. The more limited, the more it's worth. So if you keep printing dollars, and that's what's going to happen in these bank bailouts, right? As the banks collapse, and they all will, you're going to want your money, and they're going to print money. And then so they're going to print $100,000 to pay you, and it's only going to be worth $75,000. Because that's all it's going to be able to purchase is the $75,000. And, my advice is get it out and buy the gold now. Don't fuck around with it. And if you need some money, just put it in your safe and use it that way till the money is worthless. That's the key right there, is once people realize it. I'm curious. I got this nice job getting paid nice. And it's starting to work, and I'm thinking, okay, right. I get the job, and then the money's worthless. What are they going to pay me? How ironic, right? I finally get it, and there won't be any money to pay me. I'll have to get paid in the new currency. So as Alistair did state, you won't use gold to go to the grocery store. There'll be a medium of exchange, a new dollar backed by some gold. And that'll be the key. And that's what we'll use to go to the grocery store. That's what I've been saying all along. You're not taking the gold to the grocery store or to the restaurant. You're getting gold-backed dollar medium of exchanges to use in smaller increments for the debit and credit cards to buy your groceries and everything else. Okay, so that's what we're headed to. And the reason that Egon was a little worried at the end there, what he's saying is a lot of people who have money who don't understand to have gold are going to be broke, and it's going to get crazy out there because they're going to need money to buy groceries. So what plan is the government going to come out with the new currency so people can exchange? So in other words, you got 100 grand, you're going to go to zero. How are you going to eat and pay your bills? Now I got rent here. How am I going to pay my rent? Because I don't know what they're going to take. They obviously can't take the money. So there's going to have to be new money out, not digital, but new money. So I can pay them, and they got to price it. What are they going to price it in? Anyway, so we'll get to that in a little bit. But I was looking at a bunch of YouTube, so we'll talk about those. All right. Let's look at week one pro football. First game, Kansas City, 6.5 over Detroit, over under 53. Now, what I do is I'm putting in their defense and I'm putting in the quarterback because I want to understand is what am I betting on? So I put Goff against Mahomes as it is now. Obviously, Mahomes is much better. They're both over teams in that they both score a lot and both have weak defenses. Kansas City laying 6.5. So I superficially at this point like the over 47. I mean, that's 27-23. KC should put up 40 on Detroit. Detroit maybe gets the 20. It should be in the 60s. That looks like a good over because neither team really helped. Detroit didn't draft any defense, and Kansas City, maybe a little bit, but not really enough. And KC is going to score. We know they're going to score. So that's what we got first. Now, to pick a score, I don't know if I'm ready to pick a score. We're too far out. But let's say, I'll go 40-27, Kansas City. How about that? Now, next game, Carolina, Atlanta. Based on last year, both teams were even. So they'd score in the 20s, give up in the 20s. Carolina had an under defense. Atlanta had an over defense. Quarterbacks, I have no idea. Is Bryce Young the quarterback, or is it Darnold, or whoever it was there last year? I don't see how you start Bryce Young week one. He's not ready at all. I mean, if you think he's ready, you're out of your mind. He wasn't ready in college. He's not going to be ready. That's where they mislead you. The stats were good against New Mexico State. The fact he had trouble and lost to LSU, and he had trouble against Texas and Texas A&M shows you that he's not that good. That's what you must read. And so for him to step in against Atlanta, who has a weak defense, there's no question about it, but to him to step in the NFL, I don't see it. Atlanta, who's their quarterback going to be? Is it going to be the runner from Oregon? I can't think of his name. Or do they have somebody new? This we don't know. So until we know the quarterbacks, it's really hard to analyze the game. Do I take the dog? We know Atlanta's got Robinson, and they had the running back from last year. So we know, basically, we figure what? Atlanta's going to run it down the road. So therefore, that should lead to a low-scoring game. Mariota. So is Mariota going to be the quarterback against Bryce Young? Or is it whoever was quarterbacking for Carolina last year, give Bryce Young 9 or 10 games to get used to it? And is Mariota healthy and ready, or did they get a backup? I like the kid out of Cincinnati. Wasn't bad. So that's what you have. Either way, you have no quarterback really on the field. So this should be an under. Atlanta should run it down their throats. The fact they don't have a good defense is going to hurt them. They didn't really draft smart. Some of these teams, like the Lions, didn't draft defense. Like, what the fuck are they doing? It's just really stupid. So this game, Looks like an under, I would say, right away, but we'll see. We got to see who the quarterback is. If it's Young against Mariota, it's for sure an under. Young won't put up 20 points in any of the games. And he certainly won't do it against Atlanta. At Atlanta, nah. This is the NFL. This isn't, as Urban Meyer said, it's like playing Alabama every week. Houston, Baltimore. Houston's a W with an over defense. So their defense sucks. They don't score. Baltimore's an under team. Again, Lamar, who knows how long he's going to play. He's going to play 1 game, 5 games, 10 games. But he doesn't score a lot. He can't pass to save his life, so he's going to run. Now, against Houston's weak defense, I can see him being able to run. Houston has no defense. Baltimore with a good defense. So Baltimore should win, but I don't want to lay 3.5 with Lamar Jackson. Now, who's Houston's quarterback? Is it going to be Mills? Are you going to start C.J. Stroud? If they start C.J. Stroud, this is an under because Houston won't score, and Baltimore with Lamar will get 20 points, and they'll win 20-0. So this looks like an under game, Baltimore. And so does Carolina, Atlanta. This is what my point has been with the draft. Okay, now the moment of truth comes. So you've got Houston. Do you want to bet CJ Stroud? Are you going to bet on him? When no Ohio State quarterback since 2000 has done anything in the league. And part of the problem is they had Joe Burrow and Fields, and they chose Fields. Shows you they don't know what they're doing at Ohio State. And the method that they're choosing the quarterback's more on his running ability, not on his quarterback ability. So therefore, the better quarterback is not getting on the field. The guy who can run around and, he's throwing, he's running. Not, the system isn't promoting good quarterbacks. So again, Burrow should have been the starter, and Ohio State would have won 2 championships. They let him go to LSU. LSU wins the title. Ohio State doesn't win shit because they are going after the wrong style quarterback who is not good in the NFL. That's it. People go, well, Ohio State quarterbacks, they're not bad. They're okay. Then why hasn't one done anything in the NFL since 2000, since 1990? Mike Tomczak is the one who's done anything in the NFL. Well, why? Michigan had quarterback, Elvis Gerbach, Brady. They had a bunch of Greasy. They picked quarterbacks. Sorry, my avocado is extremely hard right now, so hard to use the spoon on it. So I apologize for that. So that's what you have when you don't have a good Ohio State quarterback, but they have good stats. There's a problem. They're not ready for the NFL. So if you think C.J. Stroud's going to come in and light it up, you're out of your mind. If you think he's going to run, you're out of your mind because Baltimore practices against Lamar Jackson, who runs. So that's not going to be new because they practice. I look for Houston to get shut out. And Baltimore, they'll get their 20 points with Jackson, who, can't hit the broadside of a barn, but he'll get lucky a few times. So that's what we have. I keep getting this little error. System UI isn't responding, and it darkens my screen and puts this thing on it. It's fucking ridiculous. I might need a new computer, but I won't buy another Google. These are a piece of shits. Okay, I'm back. I don't think you see it, but I see it. All right, so we got Baltimore 20-0. Cincinnati, Cleveland. Cincinnati, the best team, A team, strong defense. Chase, Burrow. They picked up a running back, picked up some offensive linemen, picked up some defense. They're even better this year. Cleveland, an E team. They score mid-20s, give up mid-20s. They're actually an over defense, so Burrow should pick them apart. I don't know what Cleveland did in the draft that made them any better, that you can really count on a draft guy. Just the first rounder, maybe. So I look at Cleveland again with Deshaun Watson. You can't sit out 2 years and be effective. So I'm not worried about him. I think Cincinnati here getting 3.5 is a joke. Okay, this is very close to a lock. As we get closer, we'll see. But I would get this bet in before it goes to 3 or 3.5. Cincinnati and 3.5 in this game all day long. Over under 47. So again, it's Burrow against Watson. Burrow 20 times better. And Cleveland doesn't have the defense. Now, their defense might get better this year, depending on what happens with if they got any draft picks or free agents, but usually those aren't really good players. The draft picks, how many good defensive players are there? And they got to fit into your scheme, and defense is not something you just come up with, right? So I look at this game as Cincinnati like 31-7. I mean, this shouldn't be close. Look for Burrow and Chase to light it up. I think they added a running back. I think they added a tight end. And I know they added some linemen and defense. So you already got Burrow. You got the best. So what's Watson going to do? So Cincy, much the better team. I want to start off good. They want the home field. They want the game. They want to play the championship game at Cincinnati. So look for them to not struggle in like the first few weeks last year. Look for them to have a much better start. Jacksonville, Indy. Jacksonville is an over team. Trevor Lawrence was starting to play a little better. Their defense sucks. Indy's a W team. They have no offense and a bad defense. You plug in Richardson. How many points do you get with Richardson? Hey, Kenzie. I don't like what you said about me, that you think you're watching me and you think I'm going to be disrespectful to you is absolutely insane. Actually, I don't see how you are because you don't show yourself. So if we have to get Bobby involved, we will, Kenzie. Kenzie thinks that if we met, I would not be nice to her. And I told her, if you're watching this and you don't think I'd be nice to you, you're out of your fucking mind. So Kansas City, I liked Atlanta, Carolina. We don't know the quarterbacks yet, but I like the game under. Houston, Baltimore. I got Baltimore 20-0 because CJ Stroud's going to light up Baltimore, and Cincinnati to blow out Cleveland with Burrow and Chase against Deshaun Watson, who looks like he's all done. You can't sit out 2 years and just come back in. Kenzie, don't screw with the professor. Bobby Bowe will get involved. You don't want Bobby Bowe involved, Kenzie. Yeah, well, my knowledge, but I'm a nice one. And keep in mind what I'm doing is to help people. So if you don't understand that's kind-hearted, then you're out of your mind. Anyway, so we're at Jacksonville, Indy. Kenzie, you don't have to talk about it here. You know where to contact me, and we can talk it out. He got my respect. He just acts weird. I don't act weird, and I don't have your respect if you think I'm going to be rude to you when we meet. So that's the point. And I'm not on Telegram anymore. There's no point in it. You don't expose yourself, so I know who you are. There's no point in it. All right. So Jacksonville, Indy. Jacksonville's over. Decent offense with Peterson, the coach, and no defense. And Indy, no offense and no defense. In Indy here, who's the quarterback going to be? Richardson. You want to bet on Richardson's like you want to bet on C.J. Stroud. Betting on Richardson is not, so Jacksonville should score on this defense because I don't think Indy did much to add to their defense. And Jacksonville, but Indy can't take advantage of Jacksonville's weak defense because they don't have a quarterback. What's Richardson going to do? Run around? He can't hit the broadside of a barn. He didn't do very well at Florida, so he couldn't do well in the SEC. He's going to pick up his game in the NFL. Okay, have a wonderful day too, Kenzie. Take care. Be good. I don't act weird. Okay, so I see Jacksonville like 23-0 here. They'll score enough. They don't really have the defense, but where's Indy going to find points? And this is where I got into the draft, right? So I'm sitting there going, okay, do you want to bet on CJ Stroud? What's he going to do for you? He ain't going to score for you. Same thing with Richardson. He's not going to score for you on Jacksonville. So is he going to be your starting quarterback, Richardson? I don't know who Indy's got. Wentz, I don't think still there. They might have the Atlanta. Matt Ryan might still be there. I'd be starting Matt Ryan over him. So that's what we got to find out. Who's the starting quarterback? I don't know. Tampa Bay Mini, who are they going to start at quarterback? Tampa Bay was an under team, but that was with Brady. And if you're an under team with Brady, you're going to be an under team with whoever you put out there. I hope they go to Trask from Florida. He's very good, but I don't know. And then Minnesota's the over team that score a lot and no defense. And they got Jefferson and Cousins. Why they didn't draft Hooker, I don't know. Big mistake. Cousins, he stinks. But Tampa's terrible, right? You lose Brady. A lot of the players left. A lot of the defense retired. So you have absolutely a terrible, probably the worst team, probably as bad as Houston and Indy, Tampa. Mini at home should score enough to win. I like Mini, 24-3 or something like that here. I don't see Tampa scoring a lot, but we don't know who their quarterback is. And since we don't know the quarterback, how do we can't analyze yet. So once we learn the quarterback, it's probably a Minnesota play because Tampa doesn't have a defense and doesn't have an offense, no matter who their quarterback is. So I like Mini here. Not a big Mini fan, but in this situation at home, Cousins will throw his 3 interceptions, but they should be able to win the game. Tennessee, New Orleans. We got Carr at New Orleans or Haener. I don't know who Tennessee's quarterback is. I don't know. Did they draft somebody? So Tennessee's in trouble. Where's Derrick Henry? He's gone, right? So they don't have running. They don't have a quarterback. They don't have receivers. They have a good coach, pretty decent defense. So they're an under team because they're not going to score. Pretty good defense against New Orleans, who's very good at home. They got Derek Carr. If they got Kamara, Thomas ever plays again, him and Jones, Julio Jones, they got a pulled hamstring for 12 years. I still like New Orleans. I think they're the best team in that division. With Carr, I see them winning here quite easily, at least by 10. They should score more with Carr. Now they have somewhat of a quarterback, and their defense is even. It's pretty good. Tennessee's pretty good defense. So could be an under game because I don't see Tennessee scoring, but I got Carr penciled in. I don't know who Tennessee's quarterback is. So that's what we're missing right now is who's the quarterback. So we've got that. So I like this game under, and I also like New Orleans. Probably the second lock of the day is going to be this game, Frisco and Pitt. Is this not a beautiful leader? You've got Frisco with this incredible defense against Pitt with their incredible defense. Let's add on, neither team has a quarterback. Pickett stinks. Purdy we like, but we don't know if Purdy's playing. Lance is horrible. I don't know why they drafted Lance third. That was a huge mistake. So defenses should control this game. 42, you go under 48. That's damn near a lock, I think. I'm not worried about Lance doing anything because Pittsburgh plays Lamar Jackson. So to see Lance is not going to be a surprise. If it's Purdy, Purdy has a better chance of scoring. Both defenses dominate. Both teams are unders and strong defensive teams. I love this under here. Probably the strongest play of the week here. Go under Frisco Pitt. And this is the new dimension that I've kind of added in the last year or two, is really analyzing the over-unders better, really understanding the teams better. Before I would look at the game going, well, in Frisco, do I like Pitt in a 9? And I tokenly look at the over-under. Now I see two strong defenses with no quarterbacks. I'm going, this is a fucking joke. This is under City. So that's really where I've taken the game up to the next level. Arizona, Washington, two teams that suck. Arizona's an even team with a weak defense. Washington's an under team with a strong defense. I don't know who the quarterbacks are. Murray's out. I don't know who Arizona has. Washington, I don't know who they have. I know Heineke moved on, so I don't know who their quarterback's going to be. Carson Wentz? So if it's Wentz against some week at Arizona, this is also an under game. Over under a 40.5. So you got Washington laying 6. I don't even know who the coach of Arizona is. I thought they fired the coach. So can Washington beat anybody? No. Can you bet Washington to win the game? No. You want Arizona in 12? Probably not. Which leads you to, once we know the quarterbacks, are the defenses any good? Well, we know Washington's a pretty good defense. Arizona, not so much, but we don't think Washington can do much. This game will probably be 20-17. I think under 46. It's a low over-under at 40, but I don't see them getting into the 40s. This game will not be like 24-20. At least I don't see where they're going to get the points. Again, we'll have to see who the quarterbacks are. Green Bay and the Bears. We got Chicago 1.5, 44.5. We got Green Bay as an even team with Rodgers and even defense. So that means they score in the mid-20s. They give up in the mid-20s. That's Green Bay. The Bears are an over team. They score a lot and they have no defense. We got Love against Fields. We don't know who Love is. Love do we have? I'm not sold on him at all. I think they should have drafted Hooker. I don't know what they're thinking. It's funny how teams are like that. They'll draft Love in the first round, even though he sucks. And then when they have a chance to get a better quarterback like Hooker or Stetson Bennett, they don't draft him. They're like, no, well, we got to see Love, see that he sucks, even though we know he sucks, so we can say, oh, okay, let's get rid of him because he sucks. Without knowing that he sucks. We already know he sucks. This is what I don't understand from these people. So they'll find out Love sucks. Listen to me, but at the end of the day, they should have listened to me. So this is a game that Fields should, he just runs. He can't throw. 44. To me, this should be over because the Bears can't stop the win, and Fields can apparently score. And Green Bay, now you got to wonder about Green Bay without Rodgers. Are they going to score with Love? I like their coach. I don't like their offense. It's all Rodgers. So without Rodgers, we'll have to see what Green Bay is all about. So this is a very, I think this will go over 38 because of Fields and the Bears' defense sucks. So I think Green Bay finds a way to put up 20, and I think the Bears put up mid-20s. So I think it's a 28-20 game for the Bears, which covers the 38. That's the only way I can see it, but both quarterbacks suck. But Fields has been running for points. I've never seen anything like it. Anyway, both teams suck. Oakland and Denver. You hear anything on Tom Brady playing? Your neighbor, is he playing for? I saw he was going to New England, and I see he's going to Oakland. I don't know that he signed anything. Now that makes a huge difference if he is. If he is, then I don't know what to do with this game. But I don't think he'll be sharp the first week. If he's not, this is an easy Denver play. Denver, you've got to understand Sean Payton's there. Makes a whole different thing with Sean Payton there. Denver's laying 3.5. They were an under team with a good defense last year. They will be an over team. Well, they were either going to be an A team or a B team, which means they're going to have a strong offense and a strong defense. I don't see why their defense would get any weaker. He always had good defenses in New Orleans. I do think they'll score 10 more points a game offensively with Peyton calling the plays. So Oakland with no defense, I think Russell Wilson eats them alive. Now, it looks like if Brady plays, then we go with the game because Brady will find a way. But again, he can't just walk into Oakland and be a superstar. It doesn't work that way. So he's going to He's going to take a few. Well, it depends when he signs, right? They'll have the preseason, but I don't think he'll be ready week one at Denver. It's going to be tough. But if he does go to Oakland, you've got Russell Wilson, Justin Herbert, Mahomes, and Brady. It's going to be incredible, that division. Kansas City will not go back to the Super Bowl with that much competition, right? It's already tough enough with San Diego and Denver for Kansas City, and the fact they just won, so they're not going to be as motivated, right? Because they won. So they're going to be a little flat after winning. So this is not, sorry, Bobby, this isn't one of his 7. This year I see Kansas City. I don't think they win the division, and I don't think they get to the championship game. And if they do, they're not going to be the home team. I see Denver and the Jets better than them. And Cincinnati. So they're number 4 right now, Kansas City. So you guys who like betting these stupid prop bets, bet Denver to win the division because of Sean Payton. That's where the coach comes in. So Denver laying 3.5. I love Denver here. He's not there. I love it. If they are, I might go over then if Brady looks good in the preseason. And he's adjusted because he'll put up 20 points for you. And we know Russell Wilson's good for 30 in this game. Because Oakland still doesn't have a defense. Let's not forget that. The most important part of the game is Oakland's defense sucks. So we'll find out what's going on with Brady, and then we can completely analyze. San Diego, both teams are over. High scoring. Tagovailoa versus Herbert. Herbert, great quarterback. Tagovailoa, a decent quarterback. Not great, but decent. I like the game over. I think Miami did not help themselves defensively. They added a running back from A&M who I really like, but you've got Tyreek Hill and Waddle. Okay, now you've added a running back. You've added more offense, but you needed defense. So look for them to score a lot and still give up a lot. And then San Diego over team needed more defense. What did they do? They lose Keenan Allen. They get a wide receiver, the kid from TCU, who's very good. Hey, Bobby Bo, I heard that Antonio Brown is saying that he's going to the Ravens too. Why wouldn't he go to Oakland and be with Brady? Is Brady going to Oakland? Was that confirmed? Because I know I'm hearing it, but I don't. It was like Rodgers going to the Jets. It took 2 months for him to finally sign. So Miami, San Diego. This game will be in the upper 20s. That's a 50-point game. You got over under 49. Tease it to 43. Love the game over here. Two good offenses. So San Diego, they drafted a receiver from TCU. Defense. They need to get Jack Ham, Jack Lambert, and Mel Blount, and they didn't get them. And I think they got some defense later on, but I don't see that going. So again, Miami, San Diego, definitely an over game for sure. Philly and New England. This could be another lock. I love this game under. Philly laying 4. They're the team, strong offense, strong defense, which got better with the Georgia players. New England's an under team. It's Hurts against Jones. Jones sucks. We all know Hurts isn't very good. I know everybody will bitch. He's as good as Lamar Jackson. Yeah, okay. But that's, he's good at running the quarterback sneak. So that means they get to fourth down a lot, which means you can't get first downs. And then they push him over for a yard. Yeah, that's my kind of quarterback. Philly -4, 46.5 at New England. Love the game under. All right, New England, great defense, no offense. Philly, great defense, average offense. They are an A team. I don't see too many points in this game. 46, you go under 52. I don't know. There's nowhere near that. Philly probably wins 20-0. Right? New England, how are they going to score with with Jones? I mean, he's terrible. Philly will put all sorts of pressure on it, get turnovers, and 23-0. So I love the game under. Philly plus the 2, but I trust the under better because New England's not going to score. They're getting shut out. So I don't see Philly getting 52 points on their own. So go under with this game. I love it. The Rams and Seattle. We like McVay. They're an even team without Stafford. So they score mid-20s, give up mid-20s. Where's Baker Mayfield? Now they added Stenson Bennett. Great move. Stafford is supposedly back. Kupp's probably still injured. And then Aaron Donald left. So it's a different Ram team. And they lost Jalen Ramsey. So they're kind of rebuilding. Look for the new players. Seattle, we love this is my point about the Lions. They drafted the kid from Alabama as the running back in the 6th pick. Seattle takes McIntosh, the running back from Georgia, who's 5 times better than the Alabama running back in the 7th round. What's wrong with that picture? Who got the better deal? Seattle. They got the better running back in the 7th round. The Lions wasted a first-round pick with a terrible running back out of Alabama he didn't do anything. He didn't even get 1,000 yards. It's not like he caught passes. It's because he went to Alabama. And so the Lions, again, make a terrible draft. I don't like the Campbell. They took the linebacker. They could have had the guy from Iowa State or Washington State or Georgia. Terrible pick. I don't mind they got a guy from Iowa, but not in the first. That guy's not a first rounder. Seattle, you got to love it. Coach Pete, you got Geno Smith, who's fine. You got added a receiver, Igma Jigma from Ohio State, who never played. He didn't play in the championship game against Georgia, didn't play a Michigan game. That's a worrisome problem. This guy doesn't want to play. So why do I want to draft him so high? So I think that was a terrible pick by Seattle, picking that in the first round. However, I liked the running back they got from UCLA and then the running back McIntosh, Charbonneau. So those 2 running backs are great with Walker, and they got the receivers. So look for Seattle to light it up, which they did last year. So they're an over team. So I like this game. Maybe over, maybe Seattle. Both ways, I think. We'll have to see. So it looks like it's Geno Smith against Stafford. I don't mind Stenson Bennett. I think it's funny, of all the teams for him to go to, this is probably the least likely because he could have started at Baltimore or Pittsburgh, and they would have won. Instead, he goes to LA where they already got Stafford. So it doesn't really make sense, but neither does the Lions drafting Hooker. It doesn't make any sense. So I definitely like Seattle here all day. Dallas minus 346 against the Giants. We got Prescott against Jones. Neither of them are NFL backs. Dallas is an A team with a weak defense. Well, mid-20 defense, and the Giants score 20 in the mid-20s, give up mid-20s. So Dallas is laying 3 on the road in a rivalry game, over under 46. Now you got to be careful here, Dallas, with whatchamacallit, Micah Parsons. Hard to bet over Dallas with Micah Parsons. Giants don't have much of a defense. They have no quarterback. They got Barkley. So what do you do with the Giants, Bobby? They already got, okay, Baltimore's already got Beckham. You think they still got, or are they done and will lose? He's trying to buy part of the Raiders. Well, it's in Vegas, so that would make sense. I assume you're talking about Baltimore in your second from last comment, Bobby. They already got Beckham. You think they still got, or are they done and will lose? Well, they're going to lose because of Lamar Jackson. That's for sure. And then it's, we'll see what Brady does with Oakland. I could see them selling part of the team to Brady. It would add seats, fans in the seats, because it's Brady, it's Vegas. It's an Al Davis move. So I smell what Brady's cooking. I think that's a pretty good move there. Who, Baltimore or Oakland? Baltimore had Trace McSorley from Penn State, and they let him go. He was better than Lamar. They don't know how to draft quarterbacks. Raiders will become a winning team if he buys them. Well, I don't know. It's like Michael Jordan buying the Washington Wizards. You'd think they would be this great team, and they suck. So hard to say if, what Brady means to getting a better team. Tony Brown said he's going to the Ravens. Well, how long is he going to play for him? A week? 2 weeks? I don't really think Beckham's all that good. All right, he made the one-handed catch, right? Which, how many guys have made one-handed catches since then? 50, 60 guys? It's not a big deal. And then he doesn't even play a full year. He doesn't really do anything. So I don't know. Beckham he didn't do anything on Cleveland. Cleveland didn't win the division with him. So I don't know. And then we all know Lamar can't hit the broadside of a barn. So I don't know that really matters. It's just a waste of money. And how good are they in the locker room? Yeah, to Antonio Brown and Beckham to the locker room, it's going to be pretty scary sight. Yeah, well, at LSU, he tried. Now he makes the one catch, and he doesn't do anything. So I didn't even know him at LSU that much. Not like Chase and Jefferson. Chase and Jefferson are real players. And Botay is going to be a real player. I'm disappointed in Cincinnati. Could have had him in the 6th round. Unbelievable. All right, so Dallas and the Giants, I think it's going to be a close game. Giants as a home dog, I like. Over under 46. I like over. Jones is going to run. They'll get some points. Neither defense is great. We like Micah Parsons, but he can't really. What's he going to do against Barkley? Then it's power against speed, and power wins. I don't know that Dallas wins the game. Giants at home. So I think this is a very close game. I like the dog in this game. And I like it over 40, just 20 to 21-20. I think they get there. And last but not least, Buffalo -2, 47 against the Aaron Rodgers. Buffalo is an A team, although their defense kind of fell off when Von Miller got hurt. Is Von Miller back? This is again the question. Is Micah Hyde back? So they got an over defense, and here comes Aaron Rodgers against an over defense. Look out. Now, the Jets were an under team, but not with Aaron Rodgers. He brought Lazard and another guy from Green Bay. And if Marshall from the Bears, who retired, is an all-pro, he comes back, he wants to come back. They've got running backs, and they got a hell of a defense. This is almost switched. I think Buffalo's an over team. I think they score a lot. Their defense is weak. The Jets are now the A team because with Rodgers, they're going to score a lot, and their defense is going to be killer because he's not going to turn the ball over. So when you're down, here's how it works. You're down 17-0 to Aaron Rodgers. All of a sudden, my defense just goes after the quarterback. I don't have to worry about the run. I just go after and sack him. That makes my defense even stronger because I just go right after him. I got the lead. So playing with the lead, as you know in baseball, Bobby, it's a whole different game than playing from behind. And that's because then you got to, like, if the Jets are behind, they got to worry, is the team going to run and then throw little swing passes. Here they're down 17-0. They have to pass. You can play them for pass. You can blitz the quarterback. You can sit on routes because you know they're passing. It's a whole different animal. I love the Jets getting 8 here. Aaron Rodgers and this defense. Again, I'm betting mostly Rodgers in the defense here. Buffalo, they don't know what they're up against now. I think the Jets win the division. I think they get to the championship game. Maybe they host it. Maybe it's in Denver. Maybe it's in Cincinnati. You know, you got a 3-horse race now. You got Denver, Cincinnati, and the Jets to win the AFC and go to the Super Bowl. Kansas City, I don't think they have a chance because they're not motivated. They just won the Super Bowl. They're going to relax. They're not going to get home field advantage. They're going to be lucky to win their own division because I'll tell you, the Sean Paytons are going to make it awfully difficult for KC to beat them twice, if they could beat them at all. You got Russell Wilson and Sean Payton. Look out. San Diego sitting there. Bad coach, but they could do it. If Brady plays for Oakland, give them a win. Kansas City's in a real dogfight in their division. Plus, they don't have the incentive. Cincinnati's got the incentive. So I'll look for Cincinnati, the Jets, and Denver. This is going to be a very exciting, and we're going to be betting those teams a lot. They're the ones who need to win. So therefore, look out for that. So that's how I view the AFC. NFC, it's Philly and San Francisco on their defense. Seattle could get in if they're deep. Now, they did draft some good defense, and they have Coach Pete. So look for Seattle to be tough. Probably Minnesota wins the Central. Detroit, it's funny. I'm driving around getting my Chinese yesterday, and they're talking about the Lions, and they're going to win 12 games. I almost had a car accident. They're going to win 12 games. They couldn't win 12 games in the Big Ten. They're going to win 12 games. They'll be lucky to win 6. Are you insane? So everybody thinks because they won last year that it's going to carry on. Well, first of all, you get the harder schedule. They got to play the AFC West. They got to play Denver, San Diego, KC, and Oakland. That's 4 losses. They're going to split with Green Bay, Minnie, and Chicago. That's 7 losses. And then they got to play Baltimore, 8 losses. I don't know the rest of their schedule. I think they get Atlanta, Carolina. Well, Carolina beat them last year running the ball. That's another loss. Atlanta's going to run it down their throat. That's another loss. Oh, and they got Seattle. All of a sudden, the announcer's like, they'll beat Seattle. I'm like, are you kidding me? They couldn't beat them last year. They didn't improve their defense, and Seattle added 2 superstar running backs, another receiver, and more linemen and better defense. Seattle is going to kill them. So you're sitting there going, that's 6 wins. Where the fuck do you think they've gotten better? If they've gotten better, they lost their running back. They didn't re-sign him, the guy that got all the touchdowns. And the Lions, the whole team's going to get injured. Plus, they don't have a coach. Where are they? Where did they get better? Against the weak schedule, they won 9 games. Okay, yeah, Green Bay, Jordan Love, he sucks. The Bears, Fields, he sucks. Minnesota still can beat them, but it's the other teams. They're going to lose to Carolina. They're going to lose to the running teams because they don't have a defense. They didn't fix their defense. So how the fuck are they going to get any better? That's why I bitched 2 years ago, and they should have drafted the 2 Georgia guys instead of trading up for the wide receiver from Alabama. That's really going to help them. And then last year, what did they do? They drafted a running back with the first pick. The best player in the draft, the Georgia defensive lineman, they don't draft them. He got into a car. He got a ticket driving his car. So we can't have people that get car tickets. Like, what the fuck are you thinking? It's a tough way to eat an avocado body, but oh well. So the Lions don't. Then they had Jack Campbell, a linebacker, a middle linebacker from Iowa. Well, that's not what you needed. You needed speed. You needed the guy from Iowa State or Washington. That's who you needed because you need speed on your defense. A middle linebacker. What was the point of that pick? So they wasted their first round picks. I don't know what the fuck doing. Why would you draft a running back from Alabama? He's not even good. It's not like it's Derrick Henry. What are you drafting this guy from Alabama for? I looked at his stats. He didn't have 1,000 yards. He didn't catch any balls. What are you doing? In the first, with the 6th pick, you're drafting this guy? Anyway, so if we go down the NFC, I think New Orleans wins Carolina. Atlanta sucks. Atlanta, I don't love Mariota, which leaves New Orleans the best of the worst. It's like the U.S. dollar. It's better than the other currencies, but it sucks. And that's what you got there. New Orleans sucks. Detroit, Chicago, Green Bay, Minnie's the best there. Philly, Dallas, the Giants, and Washington. Philly has the best defense. Both no quarterback in the league there. Hurts and Prescott are the same, and Jones stinks. So it's going to be tough there. And then in the West is really where you got Frisco and Seattle. So really Frisco, Philly, Seattle, and then the rest are down here. Minnesota, no quarterback. And that's what you have. So that's week 1. So love the Jets as a dog. We love Seattle. We love Denver. We love the under in the Frisco Pitt game. The under in Philly, New England. We love Cincinnati. We like Jacksonville. We're not sure if we're going to play them or play them under. And Detroit, KC is an over. Carolina, Atlanta. So what you got is any team that takes these new quarterbacks and plays them. So if CJ Stroud or Richardson starts week 1, they're not going to score any points. They're going to get shut out, makes those games even. Even with David Mills, Houston puts up 20 points a game, as bad as he is. So Stroud is not your answer. Neither Richardson's. He's not even an NFL quarterback. He wasn't even a college quarterback. He was terrible at college. All he did was run an option play. It's like drafting the Oklahoma quarterback when they ran the wishbone. So that's our NFL week 1. Now, we'll fill in the quarterbacks There will be injuries. And that's the other thing that the Lions radio guys don't understand. There's going to be a lot of injuries on Detroit. There always is. There's no backup. So when they get injured and they go to the second string, they suck, right? So keep that in mind. And there'll be the injuries, and that'll be the excuse. Oh, they won 4 games. Well, that because this guy was injured and that guy was injured. Well, every other team gets the guys injured too. So that's what happens. All right. So there we go. That is week 1. We'll review this many times. We'll plug in the quarterbacks. Is Tom Brady playing? Who do we got at Carolina and Atlanta? Who do we got at Houston? Who do we got at Indy? Who do we got at Tampa? Who do we got at Tennessee? The Niners, Arizona, and Washington. So Arizona, Washington could be a lock under. Who's the quarterbacks? I mean, they're going to suck, right? So we will see that also. All right. Let's turn to economics. Now, I was looking at a bunch of things on YouTube. So here again, the largest oil pipeline in Russia has been attacked by the Ukraine army. That's probably more the U.S. attacking it to get the prices up, so they'll be better. Cheap silver, we all know it's underpriced. I don't know what to do with this, except for this is the guy that interviewed Alistair and Egon. So maybe he's worth listening to. I don't know who the bald guy is. So here's the problem that I want to present to everybody. You know me, and I tell you Alistair and Egon and Andrew McGuire to listen to and trust them. We should listen to them. And I play them. I played them yesterday. I tell you to stay away from Rickards and Maloney and Peter Schiff and all these because they don't know what they're talking about. And they're going to lose you money because all they're trying to do is sell you. So they just they sell gold and silver. And they want you to buy it for the wrong reasons. So I try to keep you away from them. Your key is to know who to trust. Kenzie over here can't analyze me by doing this show. It's a joke. I asked Kenzie for ID. She won't show me. She won't show me your picture. She won't call me. So I don't believe it's Kenzie. She says, I'm weird because I don't know. I think it's Ivan the Russian I'm talking to, not Kenzie Reeves. And that's the problem I have with her. That's the problem you should have. If somebody doesn't show you their picture and talk to you on the phone, you can't believe them. You don't send them any money, and you are very skeptical that they're real, because that's absolutely not acceptable behavior. If you want to be with me or want to meet me, then you need to show who you. And that's the bottom line. Because Stone Cold said so. It's Stone Cold date some girl he didn't know, he didn't see. So that's really the point: is who do you trust? And I'm telling you, I don't know this bald guy, but I do like the beard guy, Kay. He seems to be good because he had Alistair and Egon on. So I don't know. I got to see this other guy. Now, do we need to see him? Not really. We already got everything from Egon and Alistair yesterday. We know silver's underpriced. We know gold's underpriced. Now, I keep hearing the case that, well, it's easier for gold because I have an ounce of gold that's worth $2,200. For me to get the same amount in silver at $30 an ounce, I need like 75 ounces to get to the $2,000, which is heavy, right? You got 75. I mean, the stack of 20 is pretty heavy. So you need 20, 40, 60. That's not too bad. That's 4. So 80 times 30 is 20. Yeah. So you need 4 stacks to get like the same as an ounce. But an ounce I can just put in my pocket, right? When I met Jenna, I brought 2/4 ounces. It didn't weigh anything. The silver weighed much more. So that's the positive of gold, is you can pop 5 ounces in your pocket, doesn't weigh anything, and it's going to be worth a couple $100,000. To get the same amount in silver, you gotta have 50 pounds of silver that you can't put in your pocket. That's one hand. On the other hand, it's easier to, $2,000 silver. It's easier to cash in 3 of them for 6,000. What are you gonna do with the gold at 50? You don't want to cash fit. What are you gonna do with 50,000? You don't want that much in this shit. Now, with the new currency that hopefully is backed by the gold and silver, or has some gold or silver in it, that's the currency you want. But you don't want this currency. So you don't want a 50,000. You don't want to trade in a 50,000 for this currency. So that's why silver, $2,000. Okay, here's 2. Give me 4,000 in this currency. I got to pay bills with it or whatever you're going to do with it. So keep that in mind. Let's see. Then you have this guy. I don't really like this guy. Markets to crash 92% this year. Now, we probably have different reasons. The reason I think the market's going to crash is because, as Alistair said, there's $7 trillion in our banks, money markets, and stocks. And once people realize, and the outside, the Chinese, the Russians, the Europeans, Japanese realize the dollar's worthless. Once they realize it, they pull their money out of the stock market. Stocks in US dollars. I don't. So they're going to pull out $7 trillion in the stock market. That's what's going to blow it up. Same thing with the houses. They're going to sell the houses because they don't want the US dollar, and that's going to blow that up. That's really what's happening. So as the dollar loses value, the banks are all going to go out. The stocks and the bonds and the houses are going to go out. And that's really what the problem is going to be, is people outside of the U.S. who hold most of our assets are going to get the fuck out of it. So therefore, they're out, and therefore they don't, they're going to drop. I mean, because if there's more selling than buying, the price has to go down on anything except for gold, because gold's fixed and it's not real. But so when you see this, your wealth would disappear. Now, by June, as final crash wipes out stocks and real estate, I don't know about by June. See, when they make these type of forecasts, your wealth will disappear by June is when I have to argue. We don't know. There is no date. There is no reason June. Nothing. Okay, more banks are going to go out. Okay, we'll see. The banks are going out. They're putting money in the stocks and gold. But since gold's not at a physical rate, the price of gold's not going up as it should, which is good for us because we can still buy more. I can still buy more at $2,150. I was buying it at $1,700 and $1,800 when I first started buying it a year and a half ago. I'm not selling it at this price. This is not the price to sell it at. I'm not buying to sell. I'm buying to hold, to get out of the dollar. When it gets high enough, then I will sell a little of it. And then I'm going to have a long talk with Jenna about, you got 2 ounces, and now am I an idiot still? Telling you that it's going to be way up. So that's what she's got to understand. Anyway. Insane sea chase, China versus Philippines, and whatever. See, those are the type of things, who knows? If so, that we can understand the nature of the universe. Elon Musk, why are you still working? You are worth $184 billion. Well, he's not worth that. He's worth $184 billion of this. So if he's not smart enough to buy gold, he's going to be worth 0. And that's the problem. But I'm not in awe of him because he has a lot of money. This is the problem I have. Just because Elon Musk or Buffett's rich, do I think he's smart? No, he doesn't even understand what inflation is. He doesn't understand it's the decrease of the value of the currency. So how do I listen to Buffett? I don't. Why is he smart? Well, he's smart because he's rich. Well, being rich doesn't make one being smart. And because I'm not a billionaire doesn't mean I'm stupid. I mean, that's the problem. Let's see. So here's an interesting one. Great Reset collapse, World Economic Forum. The World Economic Forum just collapsed. I love it. So this is what everybody thinks is going to do the Great Reset, but yet they just collapse. So I will watch this one, but these guys don't know what they're doing. I saw yesterday BlackRock's going to collapse. They're the one who keep buying all the houses and raising the prices a lot. And then for what? They can't, nobody's going to rent them because nobody can afford it. And they're stuck with all these houses. And there was a rule that I read in my notes that said the worst thing a bank can do, let's see if I can find that, was to own real estate because it's long term. Let's see if I can find that. The worst investment for a bank is real estate because it's long term. Saving accounts are short term. Real estate is very risky. So why would a fucking bank or BlackRock, a bank, own real estate? It's extremely risky. It's not the right play. Yet that's all they do is buy real estate. Now they're going broke also. So you can see moron number one. These are the Great Reset guys. This is why I'm telling you it's all bullshit. And it's not planned, and you can't plan it. And the way they're planning it is wrong, is because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. So where did I go? So this Great Reset collapse is just ridiculous. So I'll have to watch it later. But you don't see it. What the fuck? So then here's some idiot. 96% aren't talking about it. Take your cash. Take your cash and prepare. I love how he knows 96% aren't talking about it. Like 96% aren't talking about it. 97% of the people are going to crash. Everybody's going to be wiped out in 2 days. I hate these type of videos because they are scare tactics. They're not real. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. So, and to my point, if they don't know what they're talking about, but they make this so sorry, that was Jenna. So when they do that, the worst is Peter Schiff. Oh, all going to be wiped out in 5 seconds, and 99% of the people are going to be, no, buy gold and silver, you're fine. Do you see us panicking? Do you see us having any issues? Not at all. I sleep good every night. I'm waiting for gold and silver to go through the roof. All you can do is be patient. I run and buy more because they're keeping the price down for me. I can still get silver at 30. I'm buying as much as I possibly can because that is a joke. That's not the real price. So, in other words, I've calculated the physical price and I know what the physical price is. One guy did it yesterday. He tried to calculate and he came up with gold at 40,000 an ounce. And his assumption was how many dollars divided by the 8,000 tons of gold that Fort Knox has. And I'm like, they don't have any gold. Did you hear, Alistair? The West has zero gold. So the US has zero, Canada, the UK, and most of Germany and that whole France, Italy, Spain, they don't have any gold. So if you're calculating 40,000 based on 8,000 tons of gold the US has, I got news for you. It's worth at least 10 times that because the US doesn't have any gold. See, I love when people are stupid. And people, well, back in the 30s, and they confiscated all the gold, and they put 8,000 tons in Fort Knox. They think they still have 8,000 tons. Well, do an audit. Well, we don't want you to do an audit. Pay back Germany 300 tons of gold. Well, we can't do that. That tells you they don't have it. They have zero gold. Where Texas is going to get gold to run a gold-backed currencies out of their fucking minds, or a gold-backed digital currency? Where do you have gold to back it? So it's all a fantasy. It's all propaganda, and don't listen to it. So what we know, the U.S. has no gold. Neither does London. And the point is, forget we have it. We need to buy as much as we can. And I know a lot of my students too. Bobby, Nick. I have a guy in Vegas. He's been buying it. Buy as much as you can. You're going to make a fortune on it, number one. And number two, if you still have money in this, you're going to go to zero. So you got to also be careful of that. So you got to get out of that and buy as much gold and silver as you can. You know, and gold, if you can buy quarter ounces, it's only $600 now. Buy quarter ounces. That's what I explained to Jenna. I gave her two quarter ounces, and I showed her eBay. They're both worth $650. Now, wait till they move. That's with gold at 2,000 now. Wait till gold's 20,000 an ounce. You know, but she doesn't think it'll go up because it hasn't, and she's probably asking her friends, and her friends, instead of just listening to me. And that's, you know, where I get frustrated. But anyway, be careful who you trust and listen to. China's economic time bomb. Why does it do that? China's economic time bomb. Spot. China's economic time bomb is their real estate. How China ruined their own economy because of the real estate. Here's a real stupid one on Joe Rogan. Is our tax money being wasted? Of course it's being wasted. Here's a neat one. Who will win this, the mongoose or the snake? And I believe the mongoose gets. So if you ever have snake problems, buy a mongoose. He gets the W there. So now here you got a gold and silver price targets. I wouldn't listen to this guy. What the fuck does he know? It's as long as what you're listening for is that it's physical, not paper. So you got to hear the differentiation. But as close as I can come, I can't nail it. Nobody can, and nobody can say, "Oh, in a month it'll be there." All I can say is in August they're coming out with they're having the meeting in Russia to come out with the gold-backed currency. But it won't even matter on that anymore. All that's going to matter is the banking crisis. As the banks go out, everybody's running to gold. That's when gold and silver go up. So you don't have much time to buy it. So maybe another month, maybe two. But buy it. And then what's going to happen is all the people that don't have the gold and the silver are the ones that you got to worry about, because how are they going to survive? I mean, they basically don't have money anymore, because this is going to go out. So, well, what'll happen is it's got to have the new currency. So you got 100,000 of this currency, you'll buy the new currency. So how quickly will they have the new currency out is really what will save everybody. Because once you'll have a replacement, you'll be okay. You'll be able to eat and pay your bills and everything else and get paid at work. So that's what we have. What was I going to say? I was watching some YouTubes on Ford. The Lions will no longer own Ford in about a year. They lost $200 billion in the first quarter, and they're going to lose $300 billion this quarter. The guy shows the lot. Now, we talk about ribs and people going to the restaurant. If you make the ribs $40, nobody's going to buy it. We talk about electric cars are up here, but nobody's going to pay it. What's Ford doing? Ford's there with that 70, 80, 90,000. And they're sitting on the lot for months. And what's the market for an F-150? You're going to pay $90,000 for it? This almost seems like an Enron scam, that when they make the truck, they then market 90,000 and they call it a sale. So theoretically on the books, they sold a $90,000 vehicle, but then it goes to the dealership and he's stuck with it. He didn't sell it. But Ford's saying we sold it to the dealership. So they market really high as if they sold it for 90,000. This is Enron all over. So be careful. I would not own any Ford stock because I wouldn't own it because I hate the company anyway, but I wouldn't own it because it's going to zero, right? Nobody's buying them. They're way too expensive. So what happens when the cost is here and the market's here? Again, we're the market. If we're here and you try to sell something to us here, you're not going to do it. Perfect example, like I got this shirt. This is a Nautica, right? Probably bought it for $25. Well, last time I went to buy polo shirts, they were $105. I got Nauticas at $19.95. How long is Polo going to stay in business trying to sell their shirts at $100 when the competition's at $20 and the market's probably at $30? A Polo shirt for $30, $35, I'd probably buy. That's probably the high end, maybe $40. After that, I'm probably not buying. But if I can get Nautica here under market, I'm going to buy Nautica, and that's what I did. But all the Polo are up here. So what are you going to buy, Polo or Nautica? Of course you buy Nautica. Well, are you going to buy this Ford F-150 or a Camry. I mean, of course you're gonna go down to the Camry. So I don't know what Ford's thinking by selling these at um, 70, 80, 90,000 for a truck. Good luck. First of all, Ford is lying. So there's the whole thing of a Ford is not good, right? Do you want to own something from the Lions? No. I see guys at the club wearing a Lions shirt or a hat. I just laugh. I go, poor guy. I go, you must have lost the bet to have to wear that. I can't imagine anybody wearing a Lions outfit because they want to. I'm a loser. I back a loser. What else? So this guy, the great inflation scare, your money is vanishing. Well, again, how many times you got to say the same thing? That's what I tell you. The purchasing power of the dollar, that's what inflation is going down to zero. So you can say what you want. It's the new era that will make you rich, how China and Russia are da 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 da. The only way you're rich is with gold and silver because it can't inflate. And that's what I keep trying to teach you. That's why you substitute out of it. That's why you go into Mickey Mantle cards. That's why you go into Rolex. Because at the end of the day, they are assets and they can't be, they can't lose their value. We're here, the dollar loses the value. That's what the inflation is, the dollar losing the value, period. Not prices going up. That's the effect. That's not the reason. That's not what it is. And anyway, that's what you got to understand. And I think we've covered it enough, but it's important that's why I say it a lot. I get new viewers, and I want you to know that because it gets confusing. They try to tell you prices are, the inflation went down. Orioles are only went down 20 cents. Look, inflation's going down. Or they try to say deflation. I don't know what deflation is, but I've never heard of it. Inflation is prices going, is the devaluation of the dollar. Deflation to me would mean you're printing less dollars. That's still inflation. So I don't know what deflation is. I just, it might be a pricing mechanism, prices going down, but that's really not what that's not what inflation is. Inflation's not prices. Deflation doesn't exist. You're printing less money. No, that's just less inflation. There is no such thing as deflation. Hyperinflation, they don't understand that concept. Hyperinflation is when people are scared of the inflation and they get the money and they go buy goods as soon as they can. It's a mindset by the people. That's hyperinflation, not how much is, the inflation went up to 25%. That's hyperinflation. No, that's not. You're printing no value. People run out and buy goods because they know the price of the goods are going up. So they got to spend their money as quick as possible. That's what hyperinflation is. It's the worst and it's the scariest because people, there's really nothing they can do, right? They're just, it's just the value of the money is shrinking faster and faster and faster. However, gold and silver aren't affected by it. So I'm giving you the out, gold and silver. That's why I use the Titanic. You don't want to be in stocks, bonds, money market, money, nothing fiat. You don't want anything to do with this. That's all the Titanic. And it's hit the iceberg. It's the clearest way I can tell you. And then you get into gold and silver because guess what? It doesn't sink. It's going up based on this going down. Now, everybody, we don't want gold because that don't mean inflation. Well, you're getting the inflation if you want it or not. It's sort of like Lord of the Rings when they're the second one where they're in with Theoden and Rodin, and he says, "Well, the orcs are coming if you like it or not. You're in the middle of a war," and that's the inflation. If you like it or not, it's here. They're printing the money. So now you cannot like it, but you have to do something. And the only way out of it is to actually buy the gold and silver. That keeps you out of the inflation. That protects you. And that's the protection. But how many people understand that? Us. That's about it. It's not taught in class, which is, it shows you how corrupt the government is that they won't teach you this stuff. This should be taught in 7th grade. Buy gold and silver because the government inflates and they print too much money and the value of the money goes to zero. And the only way out is gold and silver. That should be a 7th grade. And then as you're growing up, as you start working in 10th and 11th, you're 16, 17, you should be buying gold and silver. Instead, what do you do with your money? You buy drugs or you buy other stuff. And you could have been buying gold and silver, especially when I was growing up. I could have been buying it at $30 an ounce. I could have 1,000 ounces of gold already had I known. I didn't know about it till 1995, and then I started buying gold and more baseball cards because I had an idiot for a wife. But once, now it's all gold and silver. I don't buy the cards. I think I'll be okay because I got the Montanas and I got the Mantle and I got some good cards out of it that will actually help me. But basically, I'd have much rather been buying ounces of gold at $300 an ounce, $400 an ounce, because I had money to do that with. But anyway, because as I said, to carry around, 100 ounces of silver is heavy, but to carry around a bunch of baseball cards is even heavier. And had it been gold, you take one sack of gold and you'd be fine. Anyway, so in the economy, prices going up, we can fight it by substituting in competition. We don't like the price of a steak, we buy another steak, we buy another cut. Salmon, we didn't want it. It was 20 a pound. Now I saw it's 10 a pound. So now we're buying salmon at $10 a pound. Beautiful. That's the point of it. It's available cheaper. You don't have to buy it like the girl at the haircut. Well, all the haircutters are raising their price. Not all of them. I'm sure I'll find it cheaper. And when it gets high, like it did at the salon, I left the salon and found a place cheaper. There's always a cheaper place. That's what competition is. There's always some smart person out there who goes, everybody's 25, but I can sell it for 20 and still make money. I'm going to sell it for 20. And then everybody runs to the 20. That's how business and markets work. And so salmon was $20 a pound. I said, fuck that. It's too expensive. It finally went down to 10, and then I started buying it. Chicken, I still see it when it was $2, $1.99 a pound for chicken breast. I buy a bunch, and when it goes back to $3 or $4, I don't buy it. And meat, the same thing. Hamburger, I still can get for $5 a pound. I buy that, throw it in the freezer. So I don't know. I thought by now all the prices would be really high and there'd be shortages on food. The way they make it sound, that's why you can't trust them. I don't ever think there'll be this shortage on food because they make the money. Kroger's is still going to want to make money. They're not going to go out of business. They're still going to figure out a way to get the food, and people will go. And if the dollar goes out, the people with silver will buy the food. I mean, they'll still have people buying food. They'll still have grocery stores. None of that's going away. It's impossible to go away, right? The only thing for sure we know is inflation. We know that's here. We got idiots running the government that are like children that have no IQ running the government. So all we can do is take advantage of them. Oh, you want to inflate the dollars? We'll buy gold and silver. Thank you very much. There is no other choice. You have to play off of these morons, and that's what we're doing. So we see what's happening, and we're just going off of it. Anyway, so that's economics. You're going to look for the substitute good and the competition, and that's what you're going to do. You don't want to buy a Ford F-150 for $90,000. You buy another vehicle that's $30,000. There's plenty of them out there. You don't need to buy Ford. They're a piece of crap anyway. Buy a Toyota. Don't buy a van. Buy a car. Buy whatever. You don't want to buy electric? Don't buy electric. I didn't buy electric. I'll never buy electric. And it's all going to fall apart because nobody's going to buy them. You watch. Tesla's going out. They'll go to zero because it's all if come. It's based on them selling so many vehicles, making so much money. They already lowered their price from 50,000 to 29, and they'll not get anybody because nobody wants electric vehicles. That's the economy. That's the market. The free market dictates what gets sold based on prices. That, never forget. Silver and gold. There you go, Bobby. Silver and gold. Go buy some. Did you buy some more? I didn't get to the store yesterday. But now that I'm working from home, I can just run on a lunch hour and buy. It's really neat working from home. I can, they're in Wisconsin, so I'm an hour ahead. So I start at 8, so I can take lunch at 12 and they're at 11. And I'm done at work at 4:30. They're still working, so it works out well. The difference in time, and I get a lot of work done. They like that. They're so happy that I caught on so quickly. After 2 days, I've already caught on to doing the budget and the actuals and the forecast. They're blown away. I go, this is easy. I did it at Mercedes. I ordered 5 ounces of Philharmonic, gold or silver. I would assume gold. You're only ordering 5 ounces of Philharmonic silver. That's $150. You had to. Have you been ordering gold? So keep in mind, Bobby, let's say you got 40 ounces of silver. You're going to turn that into 4 ounces of gold. You're going to pay $300 for 10 ounces of silver. Gold goes up to 40,000. Silver goes 10-1 to gold, which is what it should be. You take your 10 ounces that you pay $300 for, you buy a $40,000 ounce of gold with it. That's a hell of an investment, 300 to 40,000. So think about that. Think about the method to that madness that I've got you doing. So every 10 ounces of silver is supposed to buy you 1 ounce of gold. And they're so cheap now, you can't go wrong. But I would still buy a little bit of gold. I got 80 ounces, one the Philharmonic of gold or something silver. You buy silver. Or buy some tenth. I got some tenth of an ounces, quarter, halves. Buy some of the offset. Buy the tenth, buy the quarter. The tenths are cheap. They're $250. Well, they might be $300 now. The quarters are 6 something. So I'd like to see you have a couple of quarter ounces and the tenth of an ounce and the silver if you can't get the ounces at 21.50 or whatever. I think I'm going to buy a few more ounces of gold. And because I don't see any quarters or tenths at the store. Now, you can always go to eBay and buy them. But again, the difference is you got to trust the seller and you got to pay and then you got to wait for it. Where you go to the store, here's your money, and you walk out with the gold. And I'd much rather do that. I'd much rather do that than wait on eBay. I'd rather sell on eBay, then I get the money and then I ship it. You can buy on eBay, but I'd rather buy from the store or buy from JM Bullion. Although JM Bullion's on eBay, but they're going to sell it higher. So you really want to buy it from the store, sell it on eBay. So I assume you got 80 ounces of silver. Yeah, you need more than that, Bobby, especially silver. You're gonna want at least 250. I got 520 right now, somewhere in that neighborhood. I'm getting close to that 100-ounce gold. You told me. Well, think about it. Once silver goes up, you're gonna trade it in. So if you got 100 ounces That's 10 ounces of gold at 40,000 an ounce. That's some serious money you've got for paying $30 an ounce. So for the $30 an ounce times 100, you paid $3,000. You're going to buy 10 ounces of gold at 40,000 an ounce. 40,000 times 10 is 400,000, I think. Yeah, so you turned 3,000 into 400,000 with no risk. How is that Madoff and Attack on Wall Street and margin call, right? Turning 3,000 into 400,000, or no, into a million. Well, let's say it's 40,000 an ounce times 10, it's 400,000. So you turn 3,000 into 400,000. You tell me where else you can do that with no risk. No risk, huge reward. You tell me where you can do that. Because you ain't going to do it in Microsoft or Tesla or any of those stocks. And they're going to be in dollars, which are going to be worthless. This is what I don't understand. Well, yeah, you get 100, but also to get you some gold too. I wouldn't mind you getting 20 ounces of gold. That would be nice. But I know you can afford what you can afford. Anyway, but this is the problem I have with Warren Buffett and Gates and JP Morgan and all that, is they don't understand. Why are they holding money? Buffett has $2 billion in money. What is he doing? Buy your gold, you have no risk, or even buy your silver, and then turn it into gold. Like, what the fuck are they doing? They're a bunch of morons. How do you not do that? Why would you hold dollars? There is no reason to hold dollars. Oh, what's he going to buy? As people sell their house, he's going to buy a house. You buy the house with the gold. And I doubt he's going to buy a house. He's got a house. So again, people overvaluing people because they have money that they're smart. They're not smart. There was a conference that Buffett held, and some girl asked him a question on inflation or something. He couldn't answer it. Why don't you come up and help me answer it? I mean, it was the guy was clueless, and it shows you he doesn't know anything. But that's what I don't like. Oh, it's Warren Buffett. What's he doing? If you listen to that, you're going to get in trouble because he doesn't know what he's doing. He's rich not because he knows what he's doing, because he scammed everybody with insurance, and then he buys like 1 million shares of Disney. Well, that's not investment. Where he buys 1 million shares of Coke. So he's got a lot of money from doing stupid things, but don't ever for a moment think he's smart, because he's not. I see silver is now at 24.13. Quit watching it. As Egon said, and you heard it, he doesn't watch the price. He knows the dollar's going to collapse and his gold's going to go to the moon. And don't fuck with Egon. But that's what he's saying. I don't watch the $24 because it's priced in dollars, and I know dollars is going to zero. I know it's collapsing. The Russians and Chinese know it's collapsing. So they're just waiting for it to go to zero. And with Biden being controlled by the Chinese, that's exactly what he's doing. That's where it's going. And then you're going to look at gold and silver, and it's going to go, it'll be through the moon. Silver, 3,000-4,000 an ounce, gold, 30, 40, 50,000 an ounce at least. That's what you know. So when the dollar goes out, and it's going out, and they're going to print a lot more, the more they print, the less it's worth. So as these banks collapse and they got to print money to make everybody whole, oh, Bobby, you lost 100,000. Let FDIC insure you and give you your money. So Bobby gets 100 grand of inflated dollars. That's worth about 75. He thinks he's whole, but he can't buy as much with the 100 grand. So Bobby smartly takes his money out of the fucking bank and puts it in the safe so he doesn't have to get reimbursed. And then he goes and buys his little housing project and gold and silver. We're way ahead we're 5 steps ahead of the game. I have a friend in Vegas who, before I went to Alabama, I told him to get out of the market and buy gold, and that's what he did. And I got the question, well, how do I buy gold? What do I do? Da, 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 da. I said, you don't pay tax, and you just buy it, and don't worry about it. He was worried about the premiums. Says, don't worry about the premiums. They're not even close to the real price. All you care about is getting ounces. You don't care what you pay for it because it's so under value of what the real value is. Silver at 20, real value is $2,000-$3,000. Hell no, you just buy as many ounces as you can get. You're buying a $2,000 an ounce silver for $24. Well, you're probably paying $29 on premium. Do you really give a fuck? It's as much as you can eat, as much as you can buy. You should be buying, because it's all going to be worth $2,000-$3,000, and you're going to turn that 10 into gold at 40,000-50,000 if you can find it. See, the problem is, as Alistair said in that video, we can't, once people understand and then the mass run into gold, there is not enough gold to go around. So let's put it this way. We have a cake and there's 10 slices. We got 50 people wanting the cake, but we only have 10 slices. What are they going to do? So 10 get it, and the other 40 start bidding it up, saying, you know what, the cake's $5. I'll give you $10 for it. I'll give you 20. I need the cake. And boom, 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 boom. And that's what's happening. So everybody's going to understand, only it's going to be multiplied times 1,000. This is your livelihood. This is how you survive. Take care of your family, you eat, you pay your bills with this. So now the panic sets in because you need this, right? This isn't a joke. You need this. This isn't cake. This is real. You need it. As this goes out, you need gold and silver to protect you, because that's going to be your value. That's your lifeblood. Is you need money. We all need money, and that's going to be your lifeblood. So once you realize that, the bidding goes and goes and goes. It's at 2,000 now. Once the 50 people want the 10 pieces of cake, where do you think the price goes? Starts at 10, it'd be $2,000 for the cake, because you got 50 people bidding it up, going, I have to have the cake. I have to eat. And that's what's going to happen with gold. The ounces of gold. And we all know the Federal Reserves and the central banks are buying all the big block, the James Bond bars. We're just buying the piece of shit coins, right? Jenna thinks we're not going to be rich because we're buying coins now. I'm like, Jenna, don't worry. The coins will be worth a lot. We are fine with our coins. And so people will have to just own the gold and silver. That's all it will be, is they have to buy it. They have to own, you have to get it, but there's not enough. And that's when the bidding war goes. And that's when me and Bobby and Nick and just sit back and silver hit 2,000, just past 50,000. That's what we're going to see. So we're 5 steps ahead of the game. We're buying it. And not only are we buying it and we have it, we're buying it cheap. So it's a double dip. We're buying it cheap and we got it, because you're not going to find it, because there's more people than there is gold and silver. And once they realize that the dollar's gone and the banks are collapsing and your money's not safe in the bank, and the money's not safe in stocks, and the money's not safe in real estate, and the money's not safe in bonds. And you know what? The only place it's safe, it's not safe in the bank, is in gold and silver. Once they understand that, and they will understand that, and I can't give you this 2-week, 3-week, a month. You cannot date it, but it probably sometime in August, BRICS is coming out with gold back. By then, some more banks will collapse. Oh, everything's fine, Biden says. Oh, don't worry, just a few banks. And then another 5 banks. And another 5 banks. Now, who the fuck is stupid enough to keep their money in the bank? I hope none of my guys are keeping your money in the bank. And if you are, I don't know what are you waiting for? Wake up. If you want to hold this shit, okay, then we got to understand why. And then if you really have to hold it, get it into your safe in your house, because it ain't safe in the bank. You're not going to be able to get it out, and it's not going to have value. There's no point in holding this. So get it out, get it into your safe. Now that I'm back to work, I can empty most of my safe with more gold and silver, because I was keeping money because I didn't know how long I'd be out of work. So now I can start emptying that out and buy more gold and silver, which is what I'm going to do once I start getting a few checks. Then I'm going to really, I'll determine how much money to keep, and then the rest is going to go to gold and silver. And that's all you can do. I mean, that's it, basically. So there's going to be a bidding war. That's what's coming, right? All these people with money in America who are starting to wake up. Give me 1,000,000 ounces. These rich guys. If you listen to Sheckman, this guy wants $1 million worth of gold, and he wants gold bars, and so they're starting to wake up. There isn't any. There's not enough gold for everybody with money to buy gold, but everybody with money will want gold, which will force the price way up, as a real auction would, like a Mantle card or a Jordan or a Brady rookie, versus COMEX keeping it down. COMEX won't be able to keep it down. That's why COMEX will blow up. They'll do shorts, and it'll be like, well, sorry, I want physical, and who's going to have it at 20? Nobody's going to have it at 20. There won't be any gold to have at $2,000, right? So what I'll have to raise the price for gold to get in. So for me to sell my gold, I want to see at least 40,000, right? That's my minimum sell. And then when it hits that, then my gold goes up for sale, and I got 100 buyers who are dying to get it, right? That is, you must understand that concept. It's like if I have the Mantle card out there, PSA 10, 1965 Mantle. You know how many bidders there are for that card? You know how much money that card's going to be worth? I don't have that. I have a 68, which might be a 10. If it's a 10, you don't understand how many bidders are going to want that Mantle card, because you know how many 68 tops Mantle PSA 10s are out there? 0, maybe, let's say 5. You know how many bidders are for a Mantle card? Bobby knows this better than anybody. There's got to be 1 million. Everybody wants a Mantle PSA 10, and that price, the bidding will put the price way, way, way high. And that's what we're looking at with gold and silver. There's going to be a lot more bidders than that, and nothing COMEX can do to keep the price down, because they won't be able to sell it. Nobody will sell the $2,000 gold. Nobody's going to sell it at 2,000. Think about it. It's pure market, right? At what point do so the demand's here. Why would I sell it here? So I'm gonna wait, and the price goes up. Then that's when I start selling. I'm not going to sell it for $2,000, but when I say 40,000, that's how the price will go to 40,000. The bidders will come in raising the price. I need the gold. I'll give you 30 grand for it. I'll give you 40 grand. Then it hits 40, and then you start getting some sellers, and that's the key. And then Bobby takes his 10 ounces that he paid $30 an ounce. So he paid $300. He says, you know what? I'll take an ounce of gold at 40,000. So but silver then goes up to 1/10 of the gold. Gold's at 40,000 because it just got bid up. Silver then gets bid up, and silver's 1/10. And then he can take 10 and get a $40,000 1 ounce of gold coin for his 10 ounces of silver. And he turns around going, well, what fuck? I just spent $300 and I got 40,000 with it. Only because he's got silver to buy the gold with. Otherwise, he's fucked. He cannot take 10 of these to buy it, right? He cannot take 300 of these to buy it. How are you going to buy a 40,000 ounce of gold with $300? Turning it into silver, now I can buy it. That is how we will turn our silver into gold. Like Rumpelstiltskin, he could wheel, he would do a thread and the yarn into gold. Well, that's we're going to be Rumpelstiltskin, only we're taking silver from silver to gold that way. And that's what you're going to do. You're going to buy a house with the gold. And that's what I keep telling you. That's now you'll get a better understanding. So once more banks collapse and people get afraid, as people do, then it becomes hyperinflation. Then it becomes fear. And when there's fear, then I got to buy gold and silver to protect myself so I can eat and protect my family and pay off my house. Then they're going to realize I can't be in the dollar anymore. That's when the dollar collapses. And that's not. And you might just need a few extra ounces of silver to keep people away from you or keep you secure. People walk to your house. Oh, here's an ounce of silver. Don't hurt me. They'll protect you. We might need to do that. But do people believe us? Nobody believes you. You're just a fairy tale. You're not real. You don't know what you're talking about. Why? The dollar will never go out. Da, 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 da. Oh, really? Okay. So the bank's collapsing is just a figment of my imagination, and the dollar being inflated is a figment of my imagination. And Alistair McLean and Egon is a figment of my imagination. I got a pretty good imagination. So that's what we understand. It is happening. It's happening quicker and quicker now. The more banks that fail, people will panic in the gold, and there's not enough gold for the people. And then the derivatives won't be able to keep it down because at 2000, I'm not selling. There's no supply, right? Demand's here, supply's up here, and your price is down here being artificially maneuvered. Well, this is not getting into the game at this price. Now, when the price goes up, then this comes in to meet the demand. But that's why the COMEX will blow up. It's already blown up, but it'll really blow up. So that's the bottom line because Stone Cold said so, of course, right, Bobby? So your $24, I wouldn't even pay attention to it. All that means is you can get it for 28. So I'll probably go Tuesday and buy another 20 ounces. Now that I'm working and I know I'm working and they like me, so everything's good. I was a little bit concerned. Were they going to renege on me because I hadn't got my computer? Then I was worried, is it going to be okay? And the job's great. They love me there. I caught on real quick. So now I'm like, okay, it's go. I know I'm going to get paychecks. I'm going to get one more Social Security. I think I'll do one more unemployment on Monday. And that can all go to gold and silver. I don't know what to do with Jenna because she left me in fucking Barcelona. How much I'm going to help her. And Daria, I got to give her some money for some teeth. She's got teeth problems. She's got to get implants. I don't know. In Europe, they do. My friend in Romania has a bunch of implants, and Daria needs implants. I never get an implant. I've never gotten an implant in my life. I've gotten crowns, but I've never gotten an implant. So I don't know. But anyway, so I got to give her some money for implants. And then I'll get a 34-hour check next Friday, and then 2 Fridays. I think it'll be 80, but it might be 72. I don't get paid for holidays, but I'm getting a lot more. It's okay with my pay rate. I'm fine with that. So in the summer, it gets tricky if I get an 80-hour check or a 72, but I'm fine with the 72-hour check. Believe me, especially versus Social Security. I get 3 times the amount of Social Security with my normal 2 paychecks for the month. My normal, it'll be 4-week paychecks, so kill Social Security. Anyway, so we understand inflation. It's the devaluation of the dollar. It takes more dollars to buy things. That's why prices go up. They're not really going up. The dollar's dropping in value. That is the key concept. If you understand that concept, you understand gold and silver must go up, as well as all assets, Rolex, Mantle cards, Bobby Bow cards. Normally houses, your house should go up, but I think they've already gone way up. So they've already gone up. Now they're coming down because the rest of the world who owns the house is now selling them because they don't want to be in dollars and the interest rates are up. That's why the housing market's going to collapse. And I remember telling the people at Toyota in Alabama this, and they all looked at me like I'm crazy. Now who gets the last laugh? Now, I won't say I told you so. I don't teach to say I told you so. I teach to educate you. So now you understand what I've been teaching you, not that I told you so. And I hate that. I will never do that. So I'm teaching you what to look for and then what's going to happen. And I got us. We're 5 steps ahead of, we're like the Joker. We're 5 steps ahead of the curve. And that's all I can say. We're so far ahead of the curve. We've been buying gold for 2 years. We know what's happening. We're out of the stock market. We know what's happening there. The dollar's now being inflated. We understand that. We're way, way, way ahead of the curve. We'll do quite well, gold and silver, more than you could have ever made in any other investment with no risk. So I put you in a zero risk, thousands and thousands of percent on return. You can't get made off. You can't get margin called. You can't get attack on Wall Street. None of that can possibly happen to you. Nobody can sit there and say, oh, your gold's worthless. As long as you hold it in your hand and get the physical, you cannot buy ETFs. You cannot go into an IRA where you think you have gold and you don't. You won't have it. You must go to the store. You must get the physical. Put it under your mattress and just store it in a safe and put it in your freezer or something. Then that you cannot lose. Nobody can say, "Oh, yeah, Bobby, you 100 grand in real estate and it's now worthless." Bobby, you invested 100,000 in gold and silver. It's now worth 200,000. Good job. You cannot lose with it. It can never go to zero. You must understand that concept because the stock market's crashing, the housing market's crashing, the dollar's crashing, the banks are crashing. The only thing not is gold and silver. It will never go to zero. That is the key point. That's what I'm trying to hammer home from some movie. I don't remember the movie. But that's really what it is. So understand that. Once you can grasp that and get comfortable with it, yeah, Bobby, I really you should be buying 20 ounces of gold, my man, or LeBron. I guarantee you, Brady, LeBron, those guys don't have any gold and silver. The athletes are really going to get fucked because they sign these $1 million contracts. $1 million times zero is going to be zero, so they're going to have zero money because they're getting paid in dollars. Even if they get paid in Bitcoin, it's going to be zero because Bitcoin ain't gold. As much as they want it to be, Bitcoin's Bitcoin. There's only one gold, and that's gold. It's like an avocado. It's avocado. There is no digital avocado. It's an avocado is an avocado. That's it. That's it. Gold is gold. There is no other gold. It's not digital gold. It's not Bitcoin. This is why I fight the Bitcoin people. They don't understand. At the end of the day, the only real savior is gold and silver, not Bitcoin. Bitcoin won't save you because Bitcoin's in dollars. So if it's worth $30,000, it's worth zero. Gold lasts on its own. Bitcoin can't. But they don't understand. They don't even understand what Bitcoin is, more or less, to get out of it. Oh, Bitcoin's going to go to the roof. It'll be in dollars, so it won't be worth anything. Anyway, I eat hard avocados. You can't eat them. Anyway, that's it. That's the bottom line. And what else? So we did football. We got Russians rebellion in Russia. They don't want the war there. I just tell Daria to be safe. Here's Zimbabwe launches gold currency. That's the start of it. If they were allowed to do it, there's no reason Russia won't be allowed, and they'll let it go. BRICS announces new currency. Right there, that's coming in August. And more importantly, is cooking. He's cooking gold and silver right now, Bobby. So we'll play that when gold hits 40,000 an ounce. How about that? So understand now. I see the rock. There's when I go walk the lake. There's a little party store, and the guy's got these cutouts of the rock selling like hard lemonade or something. So there's two cutouts of the rock in the guy's store. I have to laugh when I walk by it. Keep in mind, gold and silver you can't lose with. That's most important. Football, we look at week one. We need to get updates on quarterbacks. And I'd like to get the new coaches too, but most of the coaches suck. That's the other problem. And they go for fourth downs way too much. College, I got to go to the library and print a bunch of these out. Well, this is I print out a sheet for each week of pro, and that's how I analyze it. And I got to do the same for college. So I got to get a bunch of college sheets printed out. And I don't have a printer here. And I told I says, if you need me to print something out, I got to go to the library. So she's fine with it. Thoroughly enjoying working from home. Highly recommend it. I get up, I jump in the shower, and I turn on my computer and I'm working. I need to eat coffee, tea, get something, fine. I don't have to eat until 11 o'clock because I'm here. So I'd get some water, get coffee, tea, and I'm fine with it. And off I go. I'm perfectly fine eating that. So, and then when I'm waiting for lunch, I have lunch. I turn on the TV for 45 minutes. And then when I'm done at 4:30, I just shut off the computer. And I don't have to drive through rush hour. I don't have to get stressed. I don't waste gas. I don't waste my car. So it's beautiful, all the savings that you have working from home. And they love me. I don't see the job going anywhere. They need me. 2 people had quit. Here I come in. I'm already catching on. So I'm already in a good spot there. And again, you get liked. You help the boss. So when you go into work, the key's got, how do I help the boss? And if you help the boss, he ain't going to let you go. But if you're an idiot and you're not, and you talk back to the boss, you don't get along with the boss, you're fucked because the boss will get rid of you. So as long as the boss likes you and you're doing what the boss needs, you're fine. And that's the whole goal of work, is to make the money to buy the gold and the silver so you can retire. That's the whole point of work. Don't kid yourself. Then you can do whatever with your gold and silver. Then you do what you want. But that's the key to it. So everything's going well there. My feet are fine. My back's a little tender, but it's a pinched nerve. So I could fast for 2 weeks, and I don't think it would help my back. We got to figure out. It's just working it, but I think a lot when I sleep it hurts. It's a softer mattress. Like now sitting, it's fine. When I walk, it does. It's almost like a pinched nerve or a pulled muscle in my groin or something like that. It's really a little bit painful, but I can walk on it. My feet are fine, so I'm happy with that. General Chow yesterday. I got a Diet Coke just as a test. So I haven't had it. It's Saturday Chinese Diet Coke from like Speedway, one of those big ones. And my foot started bothering me. I go, fuck, I can't have Diet Coke. Or they have put something in the Diet Cokes that are making my feet blow up that shouldn't be. I don't know if it's extra salt, extra sugar. I don't know. These are diets. I don't know what the fuck's in them. But they must have put something in, because all of a sudden my foot is reacting. Just not having it for a week, I would be able to have a bunch of Diet Cokes, especially with the Chinese. So I don't know what's going on, but I just won't have any. I won't stop at Speedway anymore to get Diet Cokes. It's not going to happen. I can't do it. So we'll substitute. I'll just have more tea and coffee and water, I guess. Maybe I can do ginger ale. Maybe that won't be as bad on my foot. I don't know. We will see. Anyway, NBA, take your choice today. If you really think Boston, they're going to want them in, Boston in the Laker final, then bet Boston. Because nobody's got their back against the wall. Basically, both do. And so if it's even, I want it where one team does. Golden State had it, but not the Lakers. That's the ultimate. So that's what you're really waiting for. So we'll see some in the next series. We'll see whoever loses game one, then all of a sudden game two. And if they lose game two, now they got to win game three. Then we start betting. So it's just be patient and wait on it. Football, we got college. We'll start looking at. College is a real big thing because you got to get all the quarterbacks. Like here, I can quickly go through the quarterbacks in the NFL. College, good luck. I mean, I know Washington is Penix and Oregon's Knicks and USC's and Oklahoma's is Gabriel and Michigan's is whoever. There's a new one at Alabama and Ohio State, which won't matter because me and Bobby could go throw 50 touchdown passes at Ohio State and we still couldn't be a good pro because it's a system. And so that's what we understand. So you have that. Gold and silver, keep buying, zero risk. It's going to go to the moon because as these banks keep failing and as Russia comes out with the gold backed currency and China, the BRICS countries, it's going to force the price up. And then it's really the banks are going to scare people into gold and silver and force the demand up, which is going to force the price up and COMEX blows up. That's what we're waiting for. We don't know exactly. It's going to be soon because the banks are in trouble now because of the idiots raising interest rates, Powell and Yellen, and Biden doesn't know what day it is, but in bed with the Chinese, they're paying him off, so he keeps it pumping. He wants to blow up. They can't. They're not big enough. You don't really need a lead currency. You need gold to just be free and let gold be the lead currency. So this whole notion of a country being the lead currency is ridiculous. That's why the Roman Empire worked, because it was gold. And as soon as they took the gold out, and you wonder why they can't put two and two together. Well, we can be the lead country with gold, and if we get rid of our gold, we won't be. Well, let's get rid of our gold. Why would you're the lead country, like, because of the gold. So nobody can catch 2 and 2 equals 4. It gives you power and strength to hold the gold. That's the key to it. Anyway, I think that's about it. We've covered the market, substitute goods, steaks. You see food on sale, go buy it. Hamburger still $4, 4.50 a pound. If you want it, salmon at 10, go buy it. And to just do a lot more cooking. That's all. It's pointless to eat out. They don't make it right. They don't make it healthy, and it's very expensive. That you don't need to waste your money on that. I know we all like to go out to eat once in a while, and we should, but I get the Chinese. But that's that's $13.99 for General Chow. So in my mind, that's perfectly fine to do that. Otherwise, I think that's about it. So looks like strong plays week 1. The Jets, Seattle, New England under, San Diego over, Pittsburgh, San Francisco under. It's probably going to be my lock. Let's see. Baltimore, Houston under, Jacksonville, Indy. Well, we're not sure. Atlanta, Carolina under, and KC, Detroit over. That looks like week 1, but that's a mile away. I mean, we're in May, and it's not till September. So those are superficial. Play on Oakland. That would be real interesting. Brady against Mahomes twice a year. Brady against Wilson twice a year. And Brady against Herbert twice a year. And all of them against Mahomes twice a year. That'll be very entertaining. The AFC West. And guess who the Lions have? The AFC West. That's 4 losses they got. When the idiot's saying, oh, they'll beat Denver. Sean Payton's coach of Denver. They're not going to beat Denver. They don't have a chance. They'll lose by 20 easily. Anyway, don't get too carried away. Basketball, we're going as we go. Poker, haven't really said much. Rounders, just more stupid. He has no outs with one card can help him. No, then he has 1 out. If 1 card can help him, you have 1 out. If you have 0 outs, no cards can help you. And if it's done on the river, you don't look at outs, right? Guy's a fucking idiot. Well, I called the all in on the river, so it left me with 1 out. No, you're done. The betting's done. The river's done. Anyway, so I mean, right now I'm just buying gold and silver. I don't even waste time with poker. I bet the football, a little bit of the baskets, but basically I just don't want to lose. I want my money in a sure thing like silver and gold. Why would I do anything else? So keep that in mind. That's really what you want to do. That's where you're going to make a fortune in gold and silver. And you got to just got to be careful. Find a safe place for it because it depends how it happened. There should be a new dollar backed by the gold and silver. Then everybody will be okay. They'll just switch their money. There won't be riots all over the place, but just be careful. All right. I think it's Sunday. I got to go get some gas. I might go to the pool, although I'm not sure. I might just go to the lake and walk and enjoy the nice lake. One of the two. I'll get out because it's Sunday. All right. If you have any questions or comments, you'll get my email at www.teaserking.com. And as far as my schedule, we'll try to do like Tuesday, Thursday after work, and then Saturday for now. If anything major happens, like Alistair McLeod or Andrew McGuire getting on, or Egon, then I'll pop in to say, here's their video, take a look at it, just for that purpose. Because they're on channels I've never heard of. I don't have subscriptions, but the way YouTube works now, if I'm looking at Andrew McGuire, it'll bring in all these finance and gold videos that I've never heard the channels. And it's like Andy Scheckman gets on 20 different channels to say the same thing, and he's wrong on all 20 points. So you don't, but when you get an Alistair McLeod, I never heard of the guy before. Not Alistair. I never heard of the host, and I never heard of the thing. And they're in a convention in Frankfurt giving speeches. So don't know what that's about. I'm looking, maybe the speech is on somewhere. But anyway, so that's that. I'll let you know when I see that. Otherwise, have a wonderful day. www.teaserking.com, and take care, everybody. Be safe. Be smart.